Welcome back to Patrick Christys tonight. So a brand new multi-million pound luxury four-star hotel development could be used to house asylum seekers who've been given indefinite leave to remain. That's according to the Home Office. So the London Hotel Group had planning permission originally for a large hotel in Tooting. Now, they said that it would uplift the local community, bring more than £1 million a year to local businesses through footfall, business events, that kind of stuff. Well, tonight, there was a meeting of the local Wandsworth Council, and it looks like they now want to use it as temporary accommodation for, quote, homeless families. Now, look, hey, if it's for genuine homeless people from the local area, then I think many people will say fair enough. But will that really be the case? The London Hotel Group's managing director is a man called Gawar Nawab, who was previously described by the Daily Mail as Britain's migrant hotel king. The London Hotel Group also runs several Best Western hotels, which have been taken over by the Home Office for asylum seekers. For example, the Best Western Peckham Hotel was used by the Home Office to accommodate asylum seekers. In May 2024, a planned transfer of asylum seekers from that hotel to the Bibby Stockholm barge was met with protests that led to several arrests and the cancellation of the transfer. The Best Western London Wembley Hotel is reportedly being used to house asylum seekers. The Best Western London Queen's Crystal Palace Hotel was also reportedly used to house asylum seekers. So one thing that is also interesting is that the London Hotel Group appears to have donated thousands of pounds to the local MP, who is Labour's Dr. Rosina Allen Khan. Now, Dr. Allen Khan's office has reiterated that all donations are declared according to the rules set out by Parliament and the Electoral Commission. Rosina receives donations from a variety of people and companies who support her campaigns. And I want to stress as well that, you know, there's no obvious wrongdoing there or anything. I just thought it was quite an interesting point. And in recent days, there have been protests about some migrant sites, like the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf, being used potentially as an overflow site for illegal immigrants. Now, I would urge people who are listening to the report that I'm just giving you tonight to not go and protest outside this site in Tooting that we're saying, because it is very much a grey area for the reason I'm about to outline. We went to the Home Office. They said it's not going to be a migrant hotel, but then we pushed them on it. And we said, they said, that it may be used to house foreign nationals, but if they've been given indefinite leave to remain, because what happens is people in asylum hotels who are given indefinite leave to remain are then often at imminent risk of homelessness. And it becomes the responsibility of the local council to potentially house them somewhere. And I wonder if this is what's going to happen here. We did send someone to the local council meeting tonight. That's the original thing there. We did send someone to the local council meeting tonight. It still remains a grey area. The council has taken out a 6-year lease on this place, apparently. That's what they want to do, take out a 6-year lease. And they are saying that that's what that's for. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be housed there. But the fact is, this is a whopping great big development that has never opened its doors to anyone. It was originally given planning permission for use as a luxury hotel that would have brought money to the local area. And now it's going to be used for homeless families with no guarantee that those families are British. So we've approached Wandsworth Council for comment. They said homeless support is a council priority. So this is long-term agreement, secures good quality accommodation for our own borough, and we will meet the needs of locally connected families, etc. At present, we sadly cannot provide all such families accommodation in the borough. At the same time, having predictable costs could save the council and the taxpayer up to £6 million over the course of this agreement. So look, I wanted to highlight that to you because I wanted you to just keep an eye on this and watch this space about if we're going to see large sites used for that kind of thing. But in other news, we've seen various different protests over the weekend, and I just wanted to bring you this clip.
Yeah, I am a Dutch geezer.
Why are you getting so angry? What do you mean off you go? I'm just standing here, mate. What do you mean off you go? I'm just standing here. Bye-bye, mate.
I don't be supporting gas chambers, mate.
Yeah, mate.
He's not harassing you.
Well, what's he doing? I'm just standing, he's putting his hand out at me.
Looks like that adults, come on, we can sort this out. He's allowed to film, you're allowed to film.
I don't think it was an adult, alright?
There you go, mate, there's the law. You feel fair, mate, you're following me around, mate. Mate, you're
are we going to stand here all day?
We're licensed to
yeah, but he can film, job, right? He can film.
Like, that's public security, mate, not you.
No, I didn't do nothing wrong. He's not doing nothing. I wanted you up in there.
Well, I'm joined now by the independent journalist and YouTuber Wesley Winter, who was the non-aggressive man in that clip. And Wesley, could you just explain to our viewers and listeners, please, where were you there? What was going on? And did they bus someone in to be a bit of an agitator?
Well, I was just outside Epping Station. That's the reason why I was there. I wanted to see firsthand, are they bringing them by bus, police van, or are they actually coming via the tube? But as you saw from that clip, we're just outside Epping Station. All the protesters gathered there where they had various speeches, but just on the edge of that were paid security. And as you saw there was that man who was very, very aggressive.
So you think they were paying, you think he was paid to be there? But
Yeah.
By who? By who?
Obviously, Stand Up to Racism, they're obviously funded by the unions who are in bed with the Labour Party. I think that is common knowledge by a lot of people. And that man there, I've been told now, is called Paul Sillett, who's apparently a security guard for Stand Up to Racism, has been for many years, allegedly. And on that day, he was clearly just paid to shut down press and freedom of speech.
So what was his argument? I mean, it pains to stress that this guy is obviously not here to defend himself. He might deny that he's paid and he might deny he's part of the group, whatever. But he didn't like you there just filming, did he, at all? Why not? What was his point?
I think the point was that they just didn't want anyone to be there in terms of anyone with a camera. I went just to film a couple signs, and then that man was just called over and he was like, oh, I know this guy and this and that. And I'd never spoken to him properly before up until that point. And he just wasn't happy with my presence. Apparently from the clip, I was quite provocative just by being there.
He looked quite intense. He was chewing his gum. He looked like a man who was ready to go, didn't he, really? And, there you go. Very red in the face as well. You can read into that what you will. But I just thought, is that he's got a Stand Up to Racism jersey on, forcing you away. I mean, eventually the police did actually tell him to do one, didn't they? Yeah,
I mean, the police were very fair. I mean, you always hear about two-tier police and all these sort of phrases get thrown around. But there, it was clear as day who the agitator was. And obviously, we are in a public tube station. Anyone can be where they want.
And I can't help but wonder whether or not this is part of it. One thing that's been highlighted, and you've been doing great work in this regard, but one thing I think has been highlighted recently, especially in Epping, was the role that some of Stand Up to Racism play, I would argue, as agitators. So you end up with a load of local people who are there, who have got very strong views, predominantly about the safety of their own children and women, which I think is quite a basic human instinct, actually. And then people turn up, maybe trying to prevent... I mean, I think he kind of wanted you to hit him there a bit. I think he was looking a little bit aggy. Yeah. And another day, I mean, it's probably not in your nature, but on another day, someone might have reacted to that, and then it becomes this big thing, doesn't it? And then it's like, journalist punches a peaceful Stand Up to Racism. Right. So we need to watch out for these people, don't we, I think?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely there to, not just be security, but have an ulterior motive, and I think that just speaks for itself. Getting very close to me. Obviously, I wasn't retaliating. The police are there to do their job, and rightly so, on the day they did. If you actually was there at the protest, you would notice that it was from 2 to 8. The protest was meant to be on for. The Stand Up to Racism crowd actually left quite early, and you have to raise the question, why did they leave early? Is it because they weren't getting the reaction they wanted, or was it time to get the bus home? Who knows?
Yes. How did they leave? I'm interested. Did they just walk
to the station? As you'll see in maybe a few days from my video, how that panned out as they were leaving. But yeah, it was just a police escort in terms of this kind of accosted them back to there.
This is fascinating. What is your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so Wesley Winter. Some of you viewers may be watching are familiar with the channel, but yeah, Wesley Winter just on YouTube.
Yeah, this is another great turning point in Britain, really, actually, as we see people like Wesley. I think obviously some people at GB News, people like Adam Brooks as well, who've been doing this stuff, where we actually start to shine a bit of light on the tactics of these groups that have flown under the radar for a very long time. What is it that Stand Up to Racism are all really about, So there we go. Wesley, thank you very much, and well done with doing what you're doing as well. Wesley Winter there. Look, again, I'll just say that individual there might deny that he's paid by Stand Up to Racism, might deny that he's an agitator, all of that stuff. So, we'll have to wait and see.